Racist, useful idiots, sooks. The insults have been flying thick and fast in Canberra as the debate around our intake of Gazan refugees heated up today. The government accused of dropping the ball on national security and the opposition accused of racism.
I don't think people should be coming in from that war zone at all at the moment. It's not prudent to do so, and I think it puts our national security at risk.
It's the comment that prompted a firestorm.
These are normal families. These are families that you are seeking to paint that somehow they are all terrorists. Stop being racist.
Leader of the opposition.
Peter Dutton seeking legal advice over the racism claim.
I'm not a racist.
As today, Independent MP Zali Steggall doubled down.
If the facts support and meet the definition, then it is the appropriate term to be used.
The opposition leader hitting back in an opinion piece, accusing his critics of being Hamas's useful idiots.
We know that the teals are nothing but greens in a Gucci jacket, useful idiots for those Hamas supporters.
But Dutton has softened from his original stance, now saying Gazan refugees should be accepted, but only after extensive vetting. That vetting process front and centre of a fiery debate in Parliament today.
Minister Giles has decided to bring people in on tourist visas. Now, the Prime Minister got up here and said to us that everyone had been checked through the ASIO process. They have not been.
Tony Burke, who points out that 70% of Gazan visas have been rejected, clapping back.
The Leader of the Opposition has moved this motion today because the man is irresponsible and a sook. And the country doesn't like either.
And caught in the middle of the raging debate are people like Australian-born Palestinian Raneem.
I feel like I do speak for a lot of the Gazan community that when we heard that terrorism label being thrown so wildly, we felt it towards us. We felt that we were being hit with the same label.
Ya Allah. This is Raneem's family, granted Australian visas but trapped in Gaza, desperate to escape.
Every day that passes, the crossing and the trip to the Rafah border is even harder. The issue is with every day that passes, you can lose someone else.
No one is coming out of Gaza. They know that that's the situation. He knows that no one is leaving Gaza at the moment.
We love our families, we want to keep fighting for them, and all we're hearing is this constant back and forth of should they all be banned, or should some of them come here, or are all of them terrorists, or are some of them terrorists. I have never ever seen a war where victims or families of the victims need to justify their family's right to live.
I think everyone feels very strongly about the innocent people who are trapped there, and no one wants to see the pictures and images we see. But I think it's a legitimate question to ask. If there are visas being granted, are they being granted to people who've been properly talked to by the authorities? And if they are not able to establish that they might be Hamas supporters, then they shouldn't come here.
Unfortunately, that's just not where this started, though. This started with Peter Dutton just saying he wanted a blanket ban. Like, you heard the grab there.
Yes, I did.
There's nothing ambiguous about that, right?
But he didn't say forever. He said now.
Well, then why did you walk it back? Why did he say there needs to be vetting?
I don't think the vetting's working properly.
Well, how do you know?
Clearly.
Why
because ASIO themselves, the boss of ASIO, has come out and said that we only intervene and do a proper check on people when the action is triggered. That was his word, his direct quote. So I don't know what that action triggering means. So then but I interpret from that not everyone gets a full examination about their background.
Yeah, but there might be reasons for that. Like, this is the thing I don't quite understand about this. Peter Dutton offered that observation, this position that no one should be coming from that war zone, by which I presume he doesn't mean the Israeli side. I presume he only means the Gazan side,
correct.
Right? No one should be coming. He just offered that. There was no factual trigger for that. It's not like there'd been a crisis that had emerged or something that he was responding to.
But isn't he saying that because he's not confident that the checks are being done? That's the natural extension of...
But have ASIO expressed this concern?
Yeah, well, ASIO's saying they're not checking everyone.
No, but ASIO hasn't said they're concerned about, not being given enough information about who's coming, whatever. In fact, one of the key things, right, there are a lot of problems with the way we talk about this whole conflict, but one of the problems with this is that the coalition is using Hamas as a shorthand for everyone in that region who would have any sympathies with Hamas being terrorists, right? That's the way they're going about this. The ASIO specifically made the point that that's not the right way to assess it in this case. I guess your question would then have to be, Do you believe ASIO know what they're talking about or not? And it seems to me that the coalition thinks they don't. They haven't explained why. They don't seem to have any evidence for why that's been the case. Now, for their concerns being raised, I fully accept that, you know, there'd need to be some... Everyone accepts that. The government accepts that there'd need to be some vetting. But if you're going to say this is, you know...
But we're giving them travel visas.
Tourist visas?
Yes.
Yeah, well, the government makes the point that that has been practiced in the past, but that doesn't mean they're not being...
But Ed Husick came out and said they're doing that because it's quicker.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not being vetted. So, like, if you were in London and you want to ask for a tourist visa, you might get it quickly. But if you're coming out of Gaza and they're not, and this is another point that the government makes, if they're not, then, like, where's the evidence that there's the crisis?
But wouldn't Australians also ask the question, Waleed, why would these people not be going into neighbouring countries such as Egypt, Jordan, Saudi? Why are they coming all the way here?
OK, well, that's a 3-hour conversation.
Okay.
But the short answer is it's a totally different situation for those countries that surround the region. And also there's a much broader concern in those countries that extends into the Palestinian territories, that if you open up those borders, then that will be a way of driving... Yeah, but that will be a way of driving all the Palestinians out, and then they lose their land. Totally. Now, you might not agree with that, but that is part of the calculation. The point is it's a totally different situation.